If you're turning 67 this year, in 2026, I want you to stop what you're doing and listen closely, because the decision you're about to make with Social Security could follow you for the rest of your life, and most people get it wrong without ever realizing it. There's a quiet mistake happening every single day across America, where good, hardworking folks walk into retirement, sign one form, click one button, and unknowingly locked themselves out of thousands and thousands of dollars they were fully entitled to. Not because they were careless, but because nobody ever sat them down and explained how the rules actually work in plain English. And here's the part that really gets me. The Social Security Administration is not going to call you up and warn you. They're not going to tell you if you're about to leave money on the table. That responsibility falls on you, and only you. So if you've been thinking that turning 67 simply means it's time to file and start collecting, I need you to hear me out for the next few minutes, because what you're about to learn could change the entire financial picture of your retirement. Now, before we go any further, I want to welcome you. This is Tire Mentor, the channel where we break down the confusing world of retirement, Social Security, and money in later life into simple, clear language that actually makes sense. If that sounds like something you need, do yourself a favor right now and hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell next to it so you get notified every time we post. I'm telling you this early because the information in this video is the kind of thing you'll want to come back to, and you'll want the next one too, because these decisions don't stop at age 67. So go ahead, subscribe now, and let's get into it, because what I'm about to share with you in just a moment about full retirement age is something that trips up almost everyone. Let's start with a truth that surprises a lot of people, and I want to be completely honest with you because that's what this channel is built on. A lot of videos out there will tell you that if you're turning 67, you've just hit your full retirement age. But here's the real story. If you are turning 67 in 2026, that means you were born in 1959. And for people born in 1959, your full retirement age is actually 66 years and 10 months, not 67. That means you've technically already passed your full retirement age earlier this year or last. Full retirement age of exactly 67 applies to people born in 1960 or later. Now, why does this matter to you? Because it changes the math on every single decision you're about to make. If you've already passed your full retirement age, every month you continue to wait before claiming is actually earning you extra money through something called delayed retirement credits. And we're going to talk all about that. So don't tune out thinking this doesn't apply to you. Whether your full retirement age was 66 and 10 months or a clean 67, the strategy questions are exactly the same, and they're the difference between an okay retirement and a genuinely comfortable one. So let's talk about what full retirement age really means, because this is where the foundation gets built. Your full retirement age is simply the age at which you're entitled to 100% of the benefit you've earned over your working life. Not more, not less, the full amount. Now you're allowed to start collecting Social Security as early as age 62, but here's the catch that so many people don't fully grasp until it's too late. If you claim before your full retirement age, your benefit gets permanently reduced. And I want you to really hear that word, permanently. This isn't a temporary cut that fixes itself later. For someone whose full retirement age is 67, claiming all the way back at 62 can slash your monthly check by about 30%. 30% gone for the rest of your life, and for the life of certain survivor benefits too. So if your neighbor brags that he started collecting at 62, just know there's a very real cost hiding behind that choice, even if he doesn't talk about it. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part I want you to lean in for. On the flip side of claiming early, there's claiming late, and the system actually rewards you in a powerful way for waiting. For every single month you delay taking your benefit beyond your full retirement age, all the way up until age 70, Social Security adds a little bit more to your eventual check. It works out to 2/3 of 1% per month, which adds up to a full 8% more for every year you wait. Think about that for a second. 8% guaranteed every year, just for being patient. There is almost nowhere else in the financial world where you can get a guaranteed 8% increase like that with zero risk. If your full retirement age is 67 and you wait until 70, that's 3 full years of credits, which boosts your benefit by 24%. So if you were going to get, let's say, $1,000 a month at 67, waiting until 70 would turn that into roughly $1,240 a month for the rest of your life, plus all the cost of living adjustments stacked on top. That difference doesn't just disappear, it compounds and follows you for as long as you live. But, and this is important, those credits stop completely at age 70. There is no bonus for waiting even one day longer than your 70th birthday. So waiting past 70 makes no sense at all. The sweet spot, the decision window, is between your full retirement age and 70, and that's the window you're standing in right now. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, well, that sounds great, but how do I know if I should wait or just take it now? And that's exactly the right question because the truth is there is no single answer that's right for everybody. Anyone who tells you there's one magic age to claim for every person is not being straight with you. The right answer depends on you, your health, your savings, your work plans, whether you're married, and what kind of family situation you have. So let's walk through these factors one by one, because by the end, you're going to have a much clearer picture of what makes sense for your life specifically. And stay with me because a little later I'm going to cover the single biggest mistake people make with the earnings test, the one that causes folks to lose part of their check without even understanding why it happened. Let's start with health and life expectancy, because honestly, this is the biggest factor of all, even though it's the one nobody likes to think about. The whole math of waiting versus claiming early comes down to something called the break-even point. When you wait, you give up some checks in the short term in exchange for bigger checks later. The longer you live, the more that trade pays off. So if you're in good health, you've got longevity in your family, your parents and grandparents lived into their late 80s or 90s, then waiting and getting that larger guaranteed check for decades can be a tremendous decision. But if you're dealing with serious health challenges or you have real reasons to believe your retirement might be shorter, then claiming earlier so you can actually enjoy that money while you're healthy enough to use it can make a lot of sense. There's no shame in either choice. It's about being honest with yourself about your own situation. You know your body and your family history better than any government chart does. Next, let's talk about whether you're still working, because this is enormous, and it's where that earnings test I mentioned comes into play. Here's the good news for you specifically. Once you reach your full retirement age, there is no limit whatsoever on how much you can earn while collecting Social Security. None. You could work full-time, run a business, do whatever you want, and your benefit will not be reduced by a single dollar because of your earnings. So since you're at or past full retirement age in 2026, you're in the clear on this one. But I want you to understand the trap that catches younger folks, because you probably have friends and family who need to hear this. If you claim Social Security before your full retirement age and you keep working, the earnings test kicks in. In 2026, if you're under full retirement age for the whole year, you can only earn up to $24,480 before they start holding back your benefits, and they withhold $1 for every $2 you earn above that limit. For people reaching their full retirement age during 2026, the limit is much higher, $65,160, and they only hold back $1 for every three above it, and only in the months before you hit that birthday. Now here's the part most people get wrong and panic about. That money isn't actually gone forever. Once you reach full retirement age, Social Security recalculates and gives you credit for the benefits they withheld. But the lesson is simple. Claiming early while still earning a good income is often the worst of both worlds, and it catches people completely off guard. Now let's talk about something that brings a little good news for absolutely everyone, no matter when you claim, and that's the cost of living adjustment, the COLA. Every year, Social Security adjusts benefits to help keep up with inflation, so your money doesn't lose its purchasing power as prices rise. For 2026, that adjustment is 2.8%. What does that mean in real dollars? Well, the average retired worker's monthly benefit is going up by about $56, rising from around $2,015 to roughly $2,071 a month. Now, $56 might not sound like a fortune, but here's the beautiful part about waiting that most people never connect. That 2.8% is applied to your benefit amount. So if you've delayed and built up a bigger benefit, your COLA increase is calculated on that larger number, which means you get a bigger dollar raise too. It's like getting a raise on top of a raise. The bigger your base benefit, the more every future cost of living adjustment is worth to you, year after year, for the rest of your life. That's one more quiet advantage of patience that nobody puts on a billboard. Let me give you a sense of the real numbers at the top end, just so you understand what's possible. In 2026, the maximum benefit for someone claiming right at full retirement age is about $4,152 a month. But if someone maximized their earnings over their career and waited all the way until 70, they could collect substantially more than that, well over $5,000 a month because of those delayed credits stacking up. Now, most people won't hit the absolute maximum, and that's perfectly fine. The point I'm making is that the gap between claiming as early as possible and claiming as late as possible can be enormous over a lifetime. We're not talking about a few dollars here and there. For many people, the difference in total lifetime benefits between the worst claiming decision and the best one can run into six figures. That's a house. That's years of comfortable living. That's the kind of money that determines whether your later years feel tight and stressful or relaxed and secure. Now I want to talk to my married viewers for a minute, and even if you're not married, please don't skip this, because you may need to help a spouse, a sibling, or a friend understand it someday. This is where survivor benefits come in, and it's one of the most overlooked, most important pieces of the entire puzzle. Here's how it works. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse generally gets to keep the larger of the two Social Security benefits, not both. So whichever benefit is bigger becomes the survivor's benefit going forward. Now think about what that means. If you are the higher earner in your marriage and you choose to delay your benefit and grow it as large as possible, you're not just helping yourself. You're building a bigger financial cushion for your spouse for the rest of their life after you're gone. That delayed benefit you worked so hard to build becomes a legacy of protection for the person you love most. This is why, for many married couples, it often makes sense for the higher earner to wait as long as possible. It's not just about you anymore. It's about making sure the person you leave behind isn't left struggling. I can't tell you how many widows and widowers I've heard about who wish their late spouse had understood this one rule. So if this applies to you, please, take it to heart. All right, let's talk about the mistakes because knowing what not to do is just as valuable as knowing what to do. The first big mistake is claiming on autopilot, just filing the moment you can, because that's what everyone else seems to do, without ever running the numbers for your own situation. The second mistake is ignoring taxes. A lot of folks are shocked to learn that Social Security benefits can be taxable depending on your total income. If you have other income coming in from a pension, from a part-time job, from withdrawals out of a retirement account, a portion of your Social Security, up to 85% of it, can be subject to federal income tax. So how and when you pull money from your different accounts can actually affect how much of your Social Security you get to keep. This is exactly the kind of thing where sitting down with a qualified financial advisor or tax professional can pay for itself many times over. I'm giving you the education here, but your personal numbers deserve a personal look. The third mistake, and this is a sneaky one, is forgetting about Medicare and how it ties into all of this. Most people sign up for Medicare around age 65, and the premiums for Medicare Part B usually get deducted right out of your Social Security check. Now, here's something to keep on your radar. As of the time I'm making this, the official Medicare Part B premium amount for 2026 hadn't been finalized yet, but whatever it ends up being, it comes out of your gross benefit before the money hits your bank account. So when you're planning your budget, remember that the number you see as your benefit amount and the number that actually lands in your account can be different once that premium is taken out. It's a small detail, but small details are exactly what separate people who feel in control of their retirement from people who feel constantly surprised by it. The fourth mistake is failing to consider your whole financial picture before deciding. Your Social Security claiming decision should never be made in a vacuum. It needs to fit together with your savings, your investments, any pension you might have, your debts, and your monthly expenses. For example, if you have a healthy nest egg saved up, you might be able to live off of that for a few years, while you let your Social Security benefit grow to its maximum at 70. That's a strategy a lot of smart retirees use. They essentially use their own savings to buy themselves a bigger, guaranteed, inflation-protected income for the rest of their lives. On the other hand, if your savings are thin and you need the income now to cover your basic needs, then claiming sooner to keep yourself financially stable and out of debt is absolutely the right call. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, and anyone who pretends there is doesn't understand how real life works. So let me bring this all together for you because I want you to walk away with clarity, not confusion. If you're turning 67 in 2026, you are standing in one of the most important financial decision windows of your entire life. You've reached or passed your full retirement age, which means the earnings test no longer limits you, and every month you wait from here until age 70 grows your benefit by 2/3%, adding up to 8% a year, guaranteed. Claiming now gives you income today, which makes sense if your health, your savings situation, or your immediate needs call for it. Waiting grows your monthly check, protects your spouse through survivor benefits, and gives you a larger base for every future cost of living increase, which makes sense if you're healthy, you have other income to live on, and you want to maximize your lifetime security. There is no shame in either path. The shame is only in making the choice blindly, without understanding what you're trading away. You now understand more about this than the vast majority of people who will file this year, and that knowledge is power. That knowledge is money. Now here's where I need your help and where you can help others too. I read every single comment on this channel and I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me this. Are you planning to claim your Social Security right away, or are you thinking about waiting to grow your benefit? And what's the biggest factor driving your decision? Is it your health, your savings, your spouse, or something else entirely? Your answer might be exactly the perspective another person watching needs to read to feel less alone in their own decision. So don't be shy. Share your thinking down below, and if you have a question, ask it, because there's a good chance someone else is wondering the very same thing. And listen, if this video helped you see your options more clearly, even a little, please do one kind thing before you go. Share this video with someone you care about. Think of a friend, a brother or sister, a coworker, or someone at your church who is approaching retirement and has no idea these rules even exist. You could be the reason they avoid a costly mistake and keep thousands of extra dollars in their pocket over their lifetime. That simple share, that few seconds of effort could genuinely change the course of someone's retirement. This is the kind of information that families should be passing around the dinner table, and you can be the one to start that conversation. So here's my final thought for you, and I mean this from the heart. Retirement is not just about money, it's about peace of mind. It's about waking up in the morning without that knot of worry in your stomach, knowing you made smart, informed choices that set you and the people you love up for security. You've worked your whole life for this moment. You paid into this system through decades of hard work, and you deserve to get every single dollar you're entitled to, not a penny less. So take your time with this decision. Run your numbers, talk to a professional if you can, weigh your health and your family and your savings, and then choose with confidence. You've got this, and you're not doing it alone, because that's exactly why this channel exists. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one, where we'll keep breaking down the things that actually move the needle in your retirement. I'm so glad you spent this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, look out for the people you love, and I'll see you in the very next video.